All right, well, good afternoon, social media world. This is Brad Jones. I'm a certified industrial hygienist with Technical Environmental Services. I wanted to talk to you just for a little bit about some findings in the midst of all this pandemic uh, challenges that we're facing nowadays. As a company, we've been looking for ways to help our clients, and one of those ways is through helping to evaluate the effectiveness of cleaning methods. Um, Cleanliness is big on everybody's minds right now. Making sure that surfaces, frequently touched surfaces, are free of any kind of germs or anything like that. So, excuse me, a common way to do that is through ATP testing or adenosine triphosphate. That is a energy molecule that is found in every living organism. So it's important to say that or state that this is not COVID-19 specific. It's not intended to be. There are no protocols for COVID-19 specific testing available to the public, or at least available to TES at this time. So what we have found though is that it is an ATP testing. It's a common type of test used in healthcare settings, food and beverage settings, and other industries where cleanliness is very important. And in the days that we've been facing recently with the pandemic in front of us and trying to keep from spreading that infection or that virus, it's become really important to key in on cleaning. So what I've done this afternoon, I did just a little challenge or a little test. It's not super scientific, but what I've done is I've taped off 3 different areas here on my desk. This area here I used only soap and water to clean. This area here I used a disinfectant. It's a Clorox 4-in-1 disinfectant spray. And then this front square I used soap and water plus disinfectant. And before I did that, I measured the dirtiness level without doing any cleaning right in here. I took a swab and set a baseline number so I would know what to do. Just real quick on how the meter works. I'm not going to go through turning it on and everything, but it's a very quick test. It has a swab, it has a solution in the top, but before you enter that solution, you basically pull the swab out. You would normally do this with gloved hands because you don't want to cross-contaminate. And you would just simply take the swab back and forth in about a 3-inch by 3-inch square, rolling it as you do it, just picking up any kind of surface contamination. You put that back in the container. You would pop this top lid for this particular model, shake it, and get the solution down on the swab. And then you simply stick it into the machine, close the lid, and there's a run test button. And within 10 seconds, it gives you a reading. So it's very quick, very efficient, and again, it's just to measure the effectiveness of the cleaning. So what I've done, I told you that I took a swab to get some baseline reading, and then I cleaned each area, one with soap and water, one with the disinfectant, and one with soap and water and the disinfectant. And interestingly enough, bear with me as I pull my results back up. Let me back up. The readings on the meter are read in relative light units. So that's a standard reading for ATP testing. And I had gotten a baseline reading of 1,599 ROUs. So moving forward, I cleaned this first area with soap and water, dried it thoroughly, and took my reading. What I found is an improvement. Came down to about 323 ROUs, or about an 80% improvement in the cleanliness of that area with just soap and water. Move over to my disinfectant, I did the same thing, and I followed the directions. It's very important with a lot of your disinfectants that you follow the directions. They usually say that it needs to have some sort of contact time, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes or maybe more, but I read the directions, let it sit. So I sprayed that area down, let it sit for 5 minutes per the directions of this disinfectant, and then I dried it, make sure it was dry, and took a swab and tested that area. I came up with around 425 ROUs, or a 73% reduction in surface contamination. So soap and water, 80%, disinfectant alone, 73%. So then moving forward, this front square, soap and water, followed by the disinfectant, following the same procedures. Dried it off, took a reading, and what I found there is that I had a reduction from 1,599 ROUs down to 170 ROUs, and that equates to about 90, little over 90%, about 92%. So as you can see, soap and water seems to be more effective than disinfectant alone, and soap and water plus disinfectant works even better. And if you look at the CDC guidelines out there for cleaning, they reference using cleaning with a detergent and water followed by disinfectant. So there's a specific difference between cleaning and disinfecting. So just pay attention to that. This is just some last words I want to share with you. Is, as we need to continue to wash our hands with soap and water for 20 seconds, and we've all heard, singing "Happy Birthday" a couple times, or I've heard various ways to why not just count to 20? But regardless, washing our hands with soap and water, using a 60% ethyl alcohol containing hand sanitizer. Those are good ways to keep our hands clean. But we also need to be concerned about our surfaces and consider the folks that are coming in and out of the workplace or in and out of our homes, and how they're dealing with this pandemic. So what we can do with cleaning our surfaces, what we can do with cleaning our hands, those are some different ways that we can help stop the spread of the virus in our home. So hope you found this informative. If you have any questions or interested more in how we might be able to help, I encourage you to reach out to us. Thank you.